Khamzat Chimaev, I think he's ready to take on everybody. He wants to kill everybody. Kill everybody! That's what he said right from day one. And I think if he can beat Dricus, and that's a big if. It's a very big if, okay? I don't know if he can. I'd probably lean towards Dricus du Plessis. But if he does do it, it remains to be seen whether or not that will be a disaster.
Before UFC 319, Khamzat Chimaev shocked everyone with a new picture of his body. He looks stronger, bigger, and more ready than ever.
Feeling great. We're in LA. We're training camp now, last camp for the fight. So coming for Chicago, kill everybody. See you guys there.
TJ Dillashaw gave his thoughts after seeing how Khamzat has been training. He said the camp is doing everything smart, not just hard. TJ pointed out that Khamzat is not just smashing people in training, but also learning how to control fights better. He believes this mix of power and patience will help Khamzat win.
But now I've also introduced Chimaev to him, so Sam Calavita's got like some killers in his garage. He does all of his strength conditioning in his garage, which is amazing. It's like Rocky style training. So Chimaev's doing it right now. I highly suspect he's gonna have an amazing, a better gas tank for this next fight, and I think he's gonna get the win because of it.
Fans online were surprised by how much he changed. It shows Khamzat is taking this fight very seriously. Many people started talking about what this new version of Khamzat could do. He looks like he's in the best shape of his life. With UFC 319 getting close, the excitement and hype are now going through the roof. Right after, Khamzat shared a short and scary message online. It wasn't long, but it felt strong and dangerous. Fans didn't understand it fully, but they knew what it meant. He's ready to hurt someone. Some said it was a warning to his opponent. Others said it was a message to the whole middleweight division. It made people even more excited for the fight.
Feeling great. We're in LA. We're training camp now, last camp for the fight. So coming for Chicago, kill everybody. See you guys there.
UFC 319 was already a huge fight. It's a big matchup between Khamzat, who fights with wild power, and Dricus du Plessis, who uses strong grappling and dangerous jiu-jitsu. The fight is interesting because their styles are so different. MMA Guru, a well-known analyst, said he supports Dricus because of his jiu-jitsu. He thinks that skill can stop Khamzat's wild attack. This style versus style matchup is what fans love most, and now everyone is watching even closer.
Who do you think wins, Dricus or Khamzat, and what do you think the finishing sequence would look like? I could see Dricus winning. Chat, yes or no? Most underrated part of Dricus du Plessis' game, jiu-jitsu. He actually scrambles really well from bottom position, really well. He's not going to let himself get mounted. He'll roll for like a leg and like that, you know what I'm saying? He'll roll for a leg, threaten a heel hook, and then use it to get back up and try and get back control. Like, he's actually really good at that.
Din Thomas also picked Dricus to win. He explained that Dricus has amazing cardio and keeps fighting hard in the later rounds. Din believes Khamzat might start strong, but if he can't finish Dricus early, things could get bad for him. Dricus never gives up and has great pressure. Din said round 4 and 5 will be the real test. That's where he believes Dricus will turn the fight around and surprise people. It's all about the late rounds.
You think Dricus beats Khamzat?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
I do. I really do. I think Khamzat is a sprinter. I think if you were to make fights 1 5-minute round, Khamzat beats anybody in the world, any weight class. But you can't fight championship level fights for 5 rounds at the pace where he's at his best. If he fights like that at his best, I think Dricus is so durable and he's so smart that he'll be able to withstand that. Now they're swimming in deep water, and Khamzat can't swim that deep.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what do you think? It just goes into the championship rounds and he figures them out?
Yeah. I think that by the 3rd round, Khamzat's like, all right, I don't really know. I can't, this guy's not going away.
Gilbert Burns has fought Khamzat before, so his words matter. After watching Dricus, Gilbert said he's very impressed. He called Dricus a serious problem for anyone, even for Khamzat. Burns said Dricus is tough, smart, and knows how to survive in bad situations. He also said Dricus doesn't break under pressure. This is why Gilbert believes Dricus could be Khamzat's hardest fight ever. Hearing that from someone who actually fought Khamzat got fans thinking this might be true.
I train with Dricus a lot. Dricus is actually a very, very good fighter. Crazy cardio, very physically strong. He's a very hard fight to predict, you know. I think Chimaev is going to start very strong like he always do. I do believe Dricus can kind of slow him down, don't get submitted, relax a little bit. But I do believe Dricus, if he get past that first round, I think that's the hardest part. What I think he will do, I think he's gonna pass, and then he's gonna be a nightmare for Chimaev. I think Dricus is a monster, hits very hard, doesn't break, good gas tank. I do believe Dricus is gonna beat Chimaev and remain the champion.
Daniel Cormier added his thoughts too. He admitted he was wrong about Dricus before. DC said he didn't think Dricus was this good, but now he believes it. Just like Din Thomas, Cormier said that the fight will change in the later rounds. Khamzat is explosive at the start, but if he gets tired, Dricus can take control. DC warned that Dricus is very good at fighting in ugly, tiring battles, and that might be a problem for Khamzat.
DDP, man, he is something else, bro. For so long we thought he just was bad. He's not. He's really good. He's like really, really good.
Did you ever see that thing with him and like he's like they show like a clips of Homer Simpson like doing everything wrong and somehow winning, and they kind of show like the same.
Good, dude.
That is
bro.
hilarious.
He was just. I was like, okay, so Izzy's gonna just counter him. He's too good. And he got Izzy bad. He was all over Izzy. I mean, he put it on Sean Strickland bad.
Yeah.
That last time. Like,
you gotta respect that style.
He's good, man. He's so big, he's so strong, and he's good. Now, Khamzat, in a sprint, can't stay with him. DDP can't stay with him. But I think if the fight goes long, it starts to get interesting. Right. I think Dricus is there for 25 minutes. Khamzat needs to be there for 25 minutes also.
Luke Rockhold trained with both fighters before. That's why his opinion matters a lot. Luke said Dricus doesn't get enough respect. He said both men are strong, but Dricus has better timing and more mental strength. He believes this fight is not a sprint, it's a long war. Luke also said Dricus will do better if the fight goes deep into the championship round. After training with both guys, Luke still thinks Dricus has the better chance to win.
Khamzat is very good at wrestling. He's very good on the ground. He's very good at pressure. The longevity of the fight, it hasn't been his best approach. So you see with Usman, you see with Gilbert, tough test. I've put a lot of rounds in with DDP, winner, and he don't go away. So unless he gets to him early, it's gonna be tough late.
So if he doesn't put him away early, it's a DDP type of fight.
I think that's the way the DDP goes. You know, he manages to get through, weathers the storms, and he keeps going. That's what champions do, and that's why DDP's on top.
Michael Bisping also supported Dricus, but gave a warning too. He said if Khamzat wins, it could be both good and bad for the UFC. Good because Khamzat is a big star, but bad because he doesn't fight often. Bisping said fans want champions who fight regularly. If Khamzat becomes champ but doesn't defend the title, it could slow down the whole middleweight division. So even if he wins, it might not be great news for everyone in UFC.
Khamzat Chimaev, I think he's ready to take on everybody. He wants to kill everybody. Kill everybody! That's what he said right from day one. And I think if he can beat Dricus, and that's a big if. It's a very big if, okay? I don't know if he can. I'd probably lean towards Dricus du Plessis. But if he does do it, it remains to be seen whether or not that will be a disaster.
Bisping then talked about Dean Smith's comments. Dean said Khamzat is too inactive and that hurts the UFC. Bisping agreed. He said Khamzat's past shows he doesn't fight much, and that could be a big problem if he becomes champion. Fans want a champ who fights often and keeps the division moving. If Khamzat wins and doesn't show up again for a long time, it could hurt the UFC badly. That's why Bisping warned people to think twice.
Dean Thomas was talking on a show or doing an interview, and he said it would be a disaster if Khamzat Chimaev won because he's not reliable, okay? And the division might get held up. The exact quote was, if Khamzat wins, it's a disaster. You can't tell me that part of you isn't just thinking the fight might not actually happen. By the way, if it doesn't happen, the backup fighter is Caio Borralho. I thought Nasruddin Imavov versus Borralho was going to go ahead at some point, but Borralho just confirmed he will be there in Chicago. If Khamzat can't make it to the fight, if he fails on the scale, if he gets sick, if he gets food poisoning, or Dricus du Plessis just doesn't fancy it, Caio Borralho will be stepping in.
To show what he meant, Bisping pulled out the fight history. He showed how Khamzat has had delays, cancellations, and many long breaks. There were reasons like injuries and visa problems, but they still caused trouble. Bisping said the UFC can't afford a champion who keeps disappearing. The division needs someone active. Khamzat is super talented, but his fight schedule is a big problem. If he beats Dricus, the UFC needs to make sure he stays active and keeps fighting.
I'm not going to be pessimistic about it, and I will say he's going to show up. But if he does show up and he's able to win, do we trust him to be able to show up and fight again? That's the question. Can he do it twice? Can he do it 3 times? Because we need movement, because I hate it when it's static and there's no movement in these divisions. And in order for there to be movement, the champions have to fight. Now, that is a fair point by Dean Thomas. Now, Khamzat Chimaev hasn't been the most reliable guy. The reality is, when you look at his record here on Tapology, he has pulled out of 6 fights. Now, of course, he was supposed to fight Robert Whittaker. That was supposed to go down in June 2024. Ended up going down in October.
But not everyone agrees with the doubt. Arman Sarukian is training with Khamzat and said people shouldn't doubt him. Arman said Khamzat is training like a beast. He told fans not to be fooled by Khamzat's past breaks. This version is better, stronger, and more focused than ever. Arman also warned Dricus not to underestimate him. He said the fight will be war, and Khamzat is ready for it. From inside the camp, Arman sees a very dangerous man.
Without giving anything away, of course, what is a good strategy Khamzat is looking at in terms of going at Dricus?
He does every fight the almost same things, and he's not gonna change anything. DDP thinks that Khamzat not gonna take him down.
He said he'll give him. I saw on Twitter, Dricus said he'll give him 10,000 for every time he's able to take him down.
If he's really think like he's gonna pay his 10,000, he's not gonna make money from that fight. He's gotta give all his money to Khamzat.
Tito Ortiz saw Khamzat training too. After watching him in the gym, Tito was fully convinced. He said Khamzat is stronger, faster, and more dangerous than he's ever been. Tito called him an animal and said he's never seen anyone with this level of energy. He believes Khamzat's camp is doing everything right. From what he saw, Khamzat is ready to destroy. Dricus won't be able to handle the pressure Khamzat brings on fight night.
How do you predict that fight plays out?
People are going to see how vicious Chimaev truly is. I respect the guy. He's a monster. Du Plessis, the champ, I think he's in him for a rude awakening because he's going to realize that his wrestling is not as good as Chimaev's truly is. And it was heartbreaking for me in that middleweight division because when Bo Nichols got picked apart his last fight, I was like, man, why didn't you wrestle? You're one of the best guys in the world in wrestling. Use your wrestling. And that's what all the Russians do. They use their wrestling to set up punches. They use their punches to set up the wrestling. And then they take people down and they choke them because they're really good at it. I think Chimaev, I would give it maybe 4 rounds, 3 to 4 rounds. I think Chimaev just overwhelms him too much. I think that's my opinion. Once again, I watch him. I watch Chimaev. I just see how tough he is, and I know he had training camp actually at Jackson Clothing Company or Jackson in California, correct? And was it
with Bear and Rampage is also there.
Yep. And so I know he's doing really well. I talked to Rampage. Rampage goes, no, he's the real deal, Tito. I go, I see him. I watch his fights and how vicious. I mean, he can shoot a double leg from half the cage and still take a guy down. He's just very vicious.
Bilal Muhammad also showed support for Khamzat. He focused on wrestling and cardio. Bilal said Khamzat's ground game is top level. Once he takes people down, they stay down. He also said Khamzat never gets tired and keeps pushing the pace. Bilal believes that Khamzat will take control early and won't let Dricus recover. Even if Dricus is tough, Bilal says the pressure in wrestling will be too much. That's why he's picking Khamzat to win this.
Who do I got, DDP or Chimaev? Honestly, I mean, I think too many people are counting out Chimaev's cardio. I think where Khabib said it best, if he stands up with him and strikes with them, I think he'll do well. DDP is an awkward style, but he does get hit a lot. And he breaks a lot of guys with fatigue. If Chimaev doesn't come out super hard in the first round, trying to take him down and letting out all his energy, I think he'll be fine if he keeps it standing. And then maybe the later rounds, you try to wear on him a little bit, but you don't want to go out for that kill in the first round. And DDP just plays defensively. He's strong, obviously. And then you end up burning yourself out for 4 rounds. So he needs to be smart, especially in this 5-round fight. But I got Chimaev. I think Chimaev's a lot crisper on the feet and definitely crisper on the ground.
Henry Cejudo didn't fully support anyone, but gave his thoughts. He said this fight is going to be very close and very hard. He respects both fighters and knows they are elite. Henry said Khamzat has the skills to win, but Dricus is tricky and unpredictable. He believes this fight will be back and forth and could go all 5 rounds. Cejudo said fans should expect a real war, not an easy fight. No one has the clear edge here.
Does Khamzat beat DDP?
Man, Khamzat could beat anybody in the world in about a round. Super impressed with what he did to Robert Whittaker. I don't see that against DDP. DDP's scrambling, man. You're gonna need to really be able to pace yourself for 5 rounds. And with DDP's train just continue to keep rolling and he's still steaming and his train's still hot. It depends on how long DDP wants to take a break. You're gonna have to prepare, man, for a guy like DDP. You're gonna need a 3-rounder or a 5-rounder to get ready, but I don't see it. I just don't see it. I think DDP's too. I used to think he was the sloppiest thing on planet Earth, and I thought the same thing about Rob until they bring that volume and just the tenacity. It changes everything.
Kamaru Usman also talked about this matchup. On his podcast with Henry Cejudo, he said it's a very hard fight to predict. When asked who he thinks will win, Kamaru said it could go either way. He said Khamzat is explosive and powerful, while Dricus is tough and never gives up. Both fighters bring something dangerous. Usman didn't pick a winner, but said fans will love this fight. He knows it will be violent, close, and maybe even historic.
And just lastly, who do you see taking the belt at 185?
At 185, listen, I told you guys, don't sleep on Khamzat. When he was fighting Robert Whittaker, everyone said, oh yeah, Whittaker's gonna get him. Hey, don't sleep on him. Khamzat's extremely talented, extremely strong. He can shock anyone. But Dricus du Plessis, you can't sleep on him as well. He's the champion for a reason, taking out 3 champions back to back to back. So, hey, respect to all those guys. I respect every one of these fighters. You know, I know people at home were spectators and were fans, and they like to just kind of talk. Oh, he had a bad performance. He had a boring one. But, hey, you have to respect each and every one of these guys that's willing to get in here, you know, in little bitty gloves and damn near underwear and bare their soul in here. So you have to respect that.
Khabib Nurmagomedov gave advice to Khamzat. He said Khamzat must stay calm and not rush. Khabib told him to use control, wrestling, and patience. He believes if Khamzat follows the plan, he can win without taking big risks. Khabib also said mental strength is the key. Don't get emotional, just stay focused. Coming from Khabib, this advice is gold. If Khamzat listens, it could make the difference. With the eagle watching, Khamzat might become smarter and more dangerous than ever. Let us know who you're picking in the comments. Make sure to subscribe right now so you don't miss breakdowns, interviews, and full coverage. The war is set and someone's leaving broken. Don't blink, it's about to get real.